Hello, I'm Liz. I'm the director of One Life, and we have reached the end of Nehemiah. It's chapter 13. We're ready to finish on a big high. And then I don't know about you, but as you then read it and you start to see something very different pan out, I was like, really? Is this really how this is going to end? You know, we've had this big theme over lockdown. We've trudged all the way through the book. We've seen the highs and the lows, and this is how it ends. And as I went through the SOAP process, SOAP, I wrote down under observation just this sense of slight letdown. Things seem to be going wrong. Nehemiah has gone through this whole process. He's rebuilt the walls. He's rebuilt the people of God so they've got a whole new way of running after life with God. He turns around, goes and visits somebody. So it's like his back is turned and everything falls down. And that's how the book ends. And I'm there like, hang on a sec, there must be another page. There must be something else going on here. And I wrote down that observation in myself because I felt like the Holy Spirit wanted me to pay attention to what was happening in me. It was like I was after the Hollywood movie ending. And I felt God show me, actually, no, this isn't the Hollywood movie ending, Liz. This is real life. This is people. And I felt a strange sense of comfort for the amount of times that I felt disappointed and let down, for the amount of times that maybe I've responded a little bit like Nehemiah. Maybe not quite, I think he tears someone's hair out and throws someone's stuff on the streets. So maybe not, quite like that. But there's definitely been points where I look back and think I should have responded differently to this or to that. And I just felt like God was saying, like, when we're out there and we're leading, and ultimately, if we're running after this vision at One Life, that everyone is almost like missionaries out in politics, out in the school playground, out in our families or in education or wherever. We're leading, we're missionaries, we're bringing something of Jesus in those spaces. And that's going to be messy. It's not going to be your Hollywood movie ending. I felt God show that to me and show me that that's okay, that I don't have to be this perfect version of myself, but that I can be frustrated and I can have my heart broken. And in those moments, it's what am I going to do about it? And so that brings me to the A in SOAP, to application. And for me, what I saw in Nehemiah was someone who's pursuing a vision of a God-first life. It's God-shaped. Everything else follows down underneath that. He's pursuing discipleship, that what it actually looks like, the outworking of honouring God, loving God with all your heart and with all your mind. And the outworking for the people of God then was about Sabbath. It was about marriages. It was about how they were going to manage the temple. But it mattered, the practical mattered because it showed a heart posture. But he's also someone that in the midst of it all the way through this has happened, he's just pursuing prayer. Like he is angry, he is hurting, and he does some crazy things, but he also just pours out his heartbreak to God, saying, remember this, God, remember this in my favour. In those moments, he has to make some wise calls and change the plans. And I just can't imagine the mixture of emotions he must have been feeling. But in it, he pours himself out on God. And if I can be a leader that right in the middle of the mess, through the journey of trying to pursue Jesus, a Jesus first life, through the journey of trying to work out what does it mean for my discipleship to have a Jesus first life, and what does that mean for the people that I'm leading? If I can be someone then in the midst of that mess, just pours myself out on God, then I'm doing something right. Prayer is where our lives are leaning on him. And I want my life to have that kind of shape. So for me, taking this away from Nehemiah, he started at the beginning of this book, pouring his heartbreak out on God, saying, I've heard about what's happened to the walls of Jerusalem, to the people, and he cries out to God, hear my prayer. And he ends, the very last words of this book is a similar heart cry, remember this in my favour, God. All of his actions, all of the stuff, all of his despair and frustrations, he pours them back out on God. That's what I'm taking away from this ending. That's what I'm going to carry forwards in my leadership and in my attempt to follow Jesus in the nitty gritty of life. Can I be someone who leans on him with the highs and the lows?